Over 500 days ago, I decided to stop drinking alcohol. When I first decided to stop, I didn't know how long this would last for. I've always wanted to stop or reduce the amount I drink, and it went from wanting to reduce to deciding I'm done completely. And now I've gone a full year, like my whole 32nd age, the whole of me being 32, I didn't drink. I say that because yesterday was my birthday. I'm now 33. So I've gone through all the events you would go through for a year, be it Christmases and other celebrations, and now the world is opening up. There's new challenges and new temptations, I suppose, but I've managed so far to continue my journey of remaining alcohol free, and I'm going to now share with you some things I have noted over the last 500 days. I've written them down. And let's get into it. Let's get into the key points, the things I've learned from being alcohol free. Number one, the most important change for me is I no longer have stomach issues. I struggled quite a bit with gastritis, and every 3 or 4 months I'd get severe pains. I'd be vomiting for a day or two, and it wiped me out energy wise for maybe 3 or 4 days, and it wasn't good. I ended up having a camera up both ends to my stomach and to my intestines, and they said that basically my stomach lining had disappeared. I was bleeding, and that's often caused from excessive alcohol consumption. And excessive is such a difficult term to quantify. What's excessive for one person may not have the same effect on another person, but for me, I was drinking enough, and I didn't feel like I was drinking all that heavily, if I'm honest, but I was drinking regularly enough, and sometimes I'd binge drink hard and get pretty drunk. Gastritis has gone. I've not had that, not only since I stopped drinking, but it was probably a year before I started not drinking. Really, when I was on the bike trip, I travelled around the world for like 18 months on a bicycle, and I didn't have any symptoms there. So I think that reduction in the amount I drank whilst I was travelling by bike helped. I came home, started drinking quite a lot, and that was really the wake-up call to stop drinking. But it's not all good. People often talk about stopping drinking and all health issues suddenly are great. I've put on weight, which doesn't often happen. A lot of people, because they consume a lot of calories as alcohol, stop drinking, eat the same, and it makes sense that you'll lose weight because you're no longer having the same amount of calories going into your body. Well, I replace those calories with cake and baked goods, and I think it's lifestyle, it's where I work. I'm often working in Kenya, where I'm not all that active out there. I'm sitting down at a desk, and I'm not able to be as active as I was when I was travelling or when I was in the army. It's not a golden ticket to losing weight, is stopping drinking. So for some people, you may replace your bad habit of drinking with the bad habit of eating more. Back to a positive though, is I've not had a hangover for 500 days. Now that makes sense. Obviously I've not had a hangover. What does that mean for me? It means that I've been able to just be free of any of that feeling of like, I want this day to be over. I remember that feeling so well, having not experienced that now for quite a while, for over 500 days. It's so good to just wake up fresh every day. I wake up pretty early now compared to when I used to want to sleep in when I was drunk. Being not hungover is a great side effect of not drinking for 500 days. Next point is you find out who your real friends are. A lot of people's social groups are linked to drinking, and I was no different. A lot of my circles that I hung around with and my work groups were all people that were drinking buddies. And when you stop drinking, I feel like you realise who the real friends are, because they'll still be there for you. Whereas your drinking buddies, really, they only wanted somebody there for the good times. My next point is alcohol marketing. It's ingrained in every little bit of society, everything, like every TV show. Somebody can just drink a neat whiskey and they're like seemingly okay. If I was to do a neat whiskey, I'd be in a bad place even when I drank. It's not I always struggled with whiskey. Just a neat spirit and just like, yeah, I'm fine. Like it makes it look masculine. That's marketing. Pubs are beautiful buildings. I love a British pub. I still love a British pub. They're so cleverly marketed, so to put the lights behind the optics and have all these old artefacts. And where I live in the countryside, the pubs here are old historical buildings and they're community hubs, and people genuinely go there 3-4 times a week, some people more. In the UK that's pretty normal. What I don't love is the expectation to drink. I recently moved into a new house. This is part of my new house, my new office, and my next door neighbour, who doesn't really know me yet, she just slipped into conversation about her son, who's about my age, and she said, oh, you'll have to meet him now, you'll have a drinking buddy. And it's just an assumption that I drink. And I said to her, oh, I don't drink. And she asked me, oh, right, why? And I explained this assumption from our societal marketing, really, that you do drink, and one does drink. My next point really is that most people don't care if you do drink or don't drink. Even though I just mentioned about the marketing, most people just don't care. Most people are so focused on themselves that they don't really have time and energy to really think about other people. So if you're worried about, oh, what do people think if I'm not going to drink? Or what am I going to say if I go to a bar? I found, for me, I don't say, oh, I'm not drinking tonight. Like that's not a good thing to say for me, because it makes it feel non-committal. I just say, oh, I don't drink. It's a statement, and I don't have to explain it. And I find that people generally respect that, and if they don't, I don't want anything to do with you. It's pretty clear. You might be worried that they think you're an alcoholic, or they think you've got issues, and maybe they do think that, but generally they don't care. Most people see alcohol and drugs as two separate entities. They don't often compute that alcohol is a drug, no different really to any other chemical or drug that affects the body. I understand that alcohol in most of the world, pretty much all the world, is legal. Most drugs, people say drugs, they often mean an illegal substance. It's really what they're saying. If we take that away for a moment, alcohol, in like some studies, has been shown to be like the most harmful drug on society. Now, it may not be the most harmful individually, like for an individual, but the societal effects of alcohol is impossible to just ignore. Alcohol is a drug. It can be great. It can be great. It can be good fun. I had so many fun times drinking alcohol. But equally, a lot of people have lots of fun times doing cocaine. You know, like great times. Nobody smokes a joint and then goes and starts a fight down the street. It's all about money though, effectively, isn't it? It's taxation. Ultimately, the government need to provide something to the society, and alcohol is easily accessible, and it's drunk, and it's so societally accepted that it's now part of our life. Let's get back to some positives. Life is more vibrant and more alive when I'm sober. I feel like I can do more things, and that I'm just full of more energy. I still go to live music. I still will go out to a bar with my friends and not drink. Maybe I'll be a bit tired by about 11:30 midnight, but I'm happy with that. Bit rambly, but there's my 503, my summary and my thoughts on not drinking. I'll come back in another 500 days. I've done a few updates on not drinking now, and I really feel like if you're in a similar position and you're thinking about not drinking, really take it from me. Like, it's the best single action I have done in the last 2-3 years of my life. The single thing that has improved my life the most. So I'd highly recommend it to anybody. And if you're struggling with any issues, there's lots of charities and organisations that I'd highly recommend. I've really found the subreddit Stop Drinking to be really useful. It's a community of people that are just there to support each other. So Google Stop Drinking Reddit and you'll find that. Okie doke. Right, I'll see you next time. Next video is going to be an adventure video. Right, look forward to that. Bye.